just hurting so bad. Remember, you're better than you think you are, and in Leadville tradition, you dig deep. We'll see you at the finish, family. 3, 2, 1.
Hi guys, Jace here and welcome to another Leadville Mountain Bike Trail 100 vlog. Today we're going to quickly go through my results since the last month, see if I've improved, stayed the same, got worse, and then we're going to look at my Leadville race bike. I'm going to go through it, look at the weights. Also, I would love to hear if you would do anything different to the bike, if you would change the setup in any way, because it can still be improved. And I'm going on the camp next week, so I will get to trial the bike out at Leadville on the course in real life. Without further ado, let's have a quick look at how I've been getting on. In the last 4 weeks, I've been doing my normal sessions that the trainer have given me, up to around about I've averaged about 10 hours a week on the bike and on the trainer. I did tweak my back a few weeks ago, which unfortunately led to me having a day off the bike and easing into it a little bit. So bad I could hardly put my shoes on, but I'm nearly fully recovered now. But I wasn't able to do some of the weight training or core sessions that I've been doing in the past. But I'm back on track now and I've been riding pretty strong. I've been out there doing gravel and mountain biking and road riding just to mix it up a little bit. And here's me finishing the Highlander mountain bike race. I do think this is probably a really good idea of my fitness levels. I've got the same race from 2023 and 2024. My FTP was 241 last year, 243 this year. But what's more significant is my normalized power. My normalized power last year was 200. This year it's 216 watts. Intensity factor was 0.83 last year, 0.89 this year, and that's close to 3 hours. So last year I did in 3 hours 4, this year 2 hours 47. The course was slightly different, but roughly the same, if that makes sense. Same pretty much elevation, roughly the same distance. Proof of the pudding was I moved up 27 places, but I think this is a good idea of where my fitness is at, and rather really than my FTP. I was a little bit disappointed last month, but let's have a look at this month. As you can see, it has remained the same again, as has my weight and the watts per kilo, 3.26. Yes, I am disappointed that the FTP hasn't gone up and my weight's down a little bit, but it's stabilized and I'm reasonably happy with where I am with my weight. The main thing my coach is basically getting me to do is longer, slower distance, and that, as you've seen by my race result the other week, has significantly increased my kind of ability to be on the power for longer, which I am happy with. I think if I wanted to get my FTP up now, I could do a batch of threshold workouts. And also the other thing, I think Trainer Road may be slightly biased towards their own sessions. And I'm not doing many Trainer Road sessions and maybe one VO2 session a week. So the intensity isn't there enough to increase that FTP, I think. Things to do, maybe speak to my coach to ask if he's got any threshold or VO2 blocks in mind in the next 2 months before Leadville. Okay, enough of my underwhelming results. What we've been waiting for is my Leadville bike. Now this is a 2 years old, so 2022 Epic Evo Pro, or it was a Pro, where it's been vastly modified. I think the only things left on the bike is the frame and also the XDR brakes. Now it's in large. I didn't buy a specific bike for Leadville. I just went with the one I had. So this bike has done stage races, BC bike race, the Volcanic Epic in New Zealand, along with the Waka 100, which are technical races with grade 4, grade 3 in them. So it is very capable and probably a little bit too much bike for Leadville, but I have stripped some of the weight down. And we've got 120 up front and 110 out back. So at the front, For suspension, we've got the SID Ultimate. It's about 1480 grams. I saved 250 grams from the Fox Factory 34, which was on there before. And also the rear shock is matched then with the SID Lux Ultimate P3, which is 247 grams. And I saved 60 grams from the Fox Float DPS that was in there originally. And now it's a funny story because why I've got these and I wouldn't have upgraded because they're pretty expensive is that I give them to the shop to send to get serviced, and they got lost by the courier, so they had to replace them. And I suggested these and they said yes, because I think it was a little bit cheaper for them to replace it with the RockShox version. So I looked out and saved quite a bit of weight, around 300 grams from the suspension. The cockpit, I cut the bars down to 710. The bars don't match with the blue, but I'll probably cover that up. And we've got the K-edge mount there out front. I may change that to an out front mount, which I have got on order, so I probably will change that. As you can see, the dropper snapped off yesterday. It's a 360 Wolfpack dropper. I think I'm going to change that back to the Fox dropper because it was a little bit flimsy. Now these grips are the Audi F1 Vapor grips, 67 grams. Oh, I have got togs on there. I forgot to mention that. For another hand position. Got the SRAM controller up front, which is great because it is adjustable and you can move it pretty much anywhere you want. So really get on well with the controller. Brakes wise, we have got Shimano XDR 4-piston that came on the bike. Really capable, and yes, I probably could do with 2-piston and they will be lighter, but why change them? They're really good brakes. What I did change out, just because with the XDR rotors, which are great, which were 130 grams, and I have got these Ashima disc brakes rotors, which are about 100 grams each. They work pretty well, they've been on my bike for a while. The bolts that they came with were pretty bad, so I kept the bolts that I've already got, which are the titanium, nice rainbow colored bolts there. The rotors are 180 rotors. The bars I've got are Next race face bars. It's been cut down to what they could be cut down to, which is 710 millimeters, which aren't feeling too bad after riding. I have got the SWAT tool in there. Now, a big saving with these Roval SL control wheels. Now, the previous wheels on there were Roval controls, and they didn't have the carbon spokes, so I saved how much, 245 grams on these. I bought them on sale for 2,000 New Zealand dollars and sold my old ones for $1,000, so that's not too bad, I feel, and I can really feel them, and they lighten the bike up a lot. So what's on these hoops? Rubber side down, it's a 2.25 Conti Race Kings Black Chili Compound Protection. I've just went with tan wool because that's what were on there. I've saved about 200 grams on the Racing Ralph and Racing Ray that were on there, and I'll see what they're like for Leadville on the camp, which I'm going to next week. I did have a Fox transfer on here, which was absolutely useless. I've had a few of them in the past and they keep sticking and they're not very good. So now I've got a Wolf Tooth Resolve. It's 125 millimeter dropper, and I've got short legs and that does me just fine. I've been on grade 4s with it. I don't need anything more. It saved me 138 grams on the stock Fox Factory 150 mil. I've been running the power saddles for a little while, which I'm getting on with. This is the S-Works power saddle at 161 grams. It used to have the Expert on there, and I saved 75 grams just by changing the seat. So the drivetrain is the SRAM XX T-Type transmission drivetrain, and it's got a Quark power meter on there. They are 170 millimeter cranks. The front chainring is 32. I can't change that to a 30, which I probably would have done for Leadville, so a 32 will have to do. It's got the SL1052 cassette on the back and the XXSL rear derailleur. The chain is again the transmission XXSL chain, and of course it's going to be waxed on the day Currently it's got the Silka drip wax, and it will be properly waxed on the day with the Silka system. Pedals, Shimano XTR, good old favorite, no reason to change. I did treat myself to these two Silka titanium cages that were insanely expensive and saved a whopping 20 grams from the Z cages that were in there. And they look like they won't hold a bottle, but I tell you, I was a bit skeptical at first. I've been doing grade 4s on them and I haven't lost a bottle once. And they look pretty smart. So let's have a look at the weight. Just under 10.7 kilos. And let's have a look at it in pounds. Well, I'm pretty happy with that weight, considering it weighed about a kilo heavier 6 months ago, 2.2 pounds, and I weighed 4 kilos heavier. So I'm going to be flying up those hills. Watch out, Columbine, watch out, Powerline. I wish. Well, thanks for watching. Give me a thumbs up if you like the content, and I will see you again soon. If I don't see you at camp, I'll see you at Leadville or around the local trails.